What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. I wanted to take this time to talk about a question that gets brought up a lot to me when I work with clients and just talking to people in general. And that question is, how do I lose body fat? How am I going to get rid of all this excess body fat that I have? And it's a great question. And over the years, I've found myself answering in the same way that many other people do. Is okay, well, watch what you eat. Calories in, calories out, making sure you exercise, making sure, you're making good choices, eating at a certain time, and this and that. And I realized that, yeah, there's a lot of truth in that. But for the majority of people, that just doesn't work. And what I mean by that is I've seen a lot of people that have done everything quote unquote the right way, and they haven't lost any body fat. And they then get discouraged and they eat the way they normally would or would want to, and then they gain more weight, etc. And what that has led me to try to ask the question is, okay, well, first off, what is body fat? Like, what is it? Right? Because how come there's certain people that can eat whatever they want and they're completely fine? And why is it there's some people that don't? And we can see people can call it genetics, this and that, and sure, maybe. I would personally say that I don't believe that's the case, because I have also seen people who, quote unquote, their genetics doesn't really allow it, and they do change stuff within their lives in a personal level, on a deeper level, and they do lose the weight. So I don't believe that to be true. I do think, though, that when we do ask the question, what is body fat? And we realize our relationship with our body fat is actually a huge issue in why we aren't losing weight. And what I mean by that is, well, what does fat do? What does it do for an animal in nature? It creates an insulation. Okay, let's start there. What is fat doing? It's insulating an animal's body. So you see a lot of animals in cold climates that will have high body fat, right? It's to help insulate, to keep their internal organs protected and keep them warm. It is there to protect from a threat. This is also why a lot of people carry their body fat around their midsection, in many ways is to protect their organs. In other people, it's not always the case. But that is a place for a lot of people where the body will naturally try to store its body fat for insulation. And what else is the body doing? When we're eating certain foods or we're doing certain things, there's a lot of processed food. So there is a capability for the body, whatever toxic uh, overload that is in these foods, and your body isn't able to digest efficiently for whatever the reasons are, it needs to be stored somewhere. So body fat will store a lot of times toxins. It'll store whatever it needs to in order to keep it safe, keep it away from places where it can cause serious damage. So when you see it from that place, okay, well, it's helping keep harmful things as best as it can away from your body, especially if we aren't able to eliminate efficiently. So it's trying to protect you there. Okay, that's a good thing. But it's also a matter of, okay, well, if you look at it from an insulation standpoint, it's also there to keep you warm. So that's actually a good thing as well, too. And if you also take a step back and look at people who are really, 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 really in shape, who get their body fat down to like 2, 3%, even bodybuilders, it's not sustainable. The first thing a lot of them want to do is eat something healthy, eat something well. Why? Because they're dehydrated, they're depleting their body. So your body needs fat. It needs body fat. Now, I'm not saying we should just all go and not give a care in the world. No, I just want us to be able to have a healthy relationship with understanding what is body fat, and then ultimately, how do we help lose body fat? How do we take care of that? And the big thing is we have to understand it is a protection mechanism. And what I'm saying in the whole grand scheme of things is that your body, whatever you're eating, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing, is going through a lot. And this is why a lot of people stress eat. It's at our disposal. It's a lot more easier to get a lot of these foods in higher quantities and higher calories, etc. A lot more ingredients, a lot more preservatives. And so when we're eating to deal with whatever stress is, the body just knows stress. It's knowing something's up. And here comes an influx of these foods. Here comes an influx of whatever, ingredients that the body's going, okay, well, what can I do with this, right? And the reality is we're trying to eliminate, but if the elimination processes aren't working, efficiently, well, the body's going, okay, well, I have to store this. I have to put this somewhere, as I said earlier. And if we can actually, and this is just my take, so I'm not saying this is 100% proof. People can say, where's your empirical evidence? I'm just explaining where I see a lot of this from doing this for so long. Is that if we can take a step back and look at the lens of body fat is actually those moments in time of stored trauma, stored in experiences that never been fully dealt with. My perception, working with as many people as I have, is going, well, you're eating right, you're doing everything right, but you're not losing weight. Have we actually gotten to the root of what's going on here, right? And I'm not saying we have to start bringing up all your traumas. That's what the movement's for. The movement, the exercise for a lot of people is, as you're going through the workouts, is getting your body in motion to help create heat, to help basically let that fat go, let that trauma go. This is why a lot of people like to exercise when they're feeling stressed. This is why a lot of people like to move in order to deal with their problems, because it's going, I need to let this energy flow. This trauma, this stress, whatever it is, it needs to flow. And when there is something that is not dealt with, it will be held on to. And how do I know that? If you've ever had a problem, you did something wrong or someone did something wrong, you're like, I can't stop thinking about it and it's bothering me. And I wish there was something I can do about it. And that for anyone, it could be as simple as somebody cutting you off in traffic. Everybody has, and this is why it's not the same for everybody. But if there's stuff that isn't addressed, or it's eating us up, or it's causing us stress, the body's going to do what it needs to do. And a lot of times it's stored as fat. But it's not a bad thing. It's the body going, I need to insulate this. I need to encapsulate this so it does not affect, to the best that it can, the rest of the body. Whatever we have going on is having a really hard time trying to eliminate as efficiently. And this is when I see a lot of people who have issues when it comes to sweating. I see a lot of people have issues when it comes to going to the bathroom. The amount of stresses, it's like your elimination processes are backed up or something's going on with them, so they're not working the way you would like them to. So therefore the body's going, okay, well, we got to store this somewhere. And all that to be said is, if you can take a step back, as I said, and just look at your own body fat and look at your experiences as going, am I dealing with my things here? Am I really dealing with my stuff? You might realize maybe I'm not. Maybe we aren't. And I'm not saying you have to open the floodgates to all your problems right away. No, 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 no. Don't want to do that. Everybody's different. Some people can eat really healthy and all they needed was to just change their diet, and their body's like, hey, we can do this. This is manageable. We can deal with our issues here. But a lot of us, if we have deep-rooted things, this is why you'll see those shows where it's like my 600-pound life, or wherever it is, where someone's like, man, they started this job, life got stressful, they put on a bunch of weight. It's because there's a lot of stresses that came into someone's life or things that happened as a kid. It's going, I never dealt with this and I can't figure out how to deal with this. And this is the thing where life is this journey where it's not as simple. All right, I did this, now everything's done. No, it's a lifelong experience. And that might scare some of you, but the reality is if you can learn how to get to the root of things, build your infrastructure, get into the breath, knowing, hey, this isn't a bad thing. My fat isn't a poor reflection of me. It's just going, hey, it's my body trying to protect myself. And I need to know that if in order for me to let that go, I have to be able to address it. I need to face it. How do I also know this? When I work with people and we really stress the body and I see them making changes, they will tell me random people, different times, doing different movements, but they get themselves so invested into what they're doing. They're present with their movement. They're creating this heat. They're creating this stress on the body in a very controlled way that memories start to come to them. I don't try to instigate it. I don't try to entice them or force any sort of thought process. I'll just ask, what's going on in your mind? Where are you? What are you feeling? And more often than not, I get people saying, having memories of when I was a kid. I had a memory of my first marriage. I was thinking about this. I went into a really crazy place I haven't thought about in many, many years. And everyone's different. Some people don't have it right away. Some people do. So what is that happening here? It's the body going, we're under stress. This is the stress we need to face right now. We feel comfortable enough to share that with you. And this is why I have seen firsthand a lot of people who have done everything right, eating, exercise, and they're like, I'm not losing weight. I can't lose this weight. Well, get to the root of the problem. Your body is going, once we've dealt with that, once you've allowed yourself to experience that, have an experience where you feel comfortable knowing, okay, I can go there, I can experience it, I can find gratitude, I can find resolution in that, clarity, whatever it may be. A lot of times the body goes, we can let that trauma go. We can let that fat go. We don't need to insulate that experience anymore. We can let it go. And here's the thing. We're not trying to all get down to 2, 3% body fat because that in itself is a problem in its own. You need to find there is a healthy balance for all of us. Now, some people might do it for sports. Some people really just, again, there's something that drives them. By all means, knock your socks off. But most of you here listening to this, that's not where you're going. But the problem that will become for many of us is because if we are dealing with body fat, it's going, look at me. Oh, what trauma is that creating with self right there? That's more body fat that's ready to be stored, in my opinion, because it's going, look at how you view yourself. And I'm not saying we don't want to make change. I'm not saying we just let it go. No. Hey, I realize I'm not where I want to be. I want to be thinner. Okay, I know that this is going to be hard. I know things are going to get brought up. I know this is going to have me going through aches and pains and dealing with things. If you are ready, there's a gratitude, hopefully, that can come with that. Going, I'm going to be grateful for whatever comes, whether it's serious, deep, superficial, whatever. And if we can do that, and I've seen this happen with a lot of people, the weight will start to come off, the body fat, because it's an appreciation, it's an acceptance of going, yeah, I need to deal with these things. I have to handle them. And this can go into so many other sidetracks of people never dealing with their problems in relationships, self, work related, and it eats people up. And it will, for many of us, lead into an overall just an explosion of something happening, whether it's a crazy breakup, doing something very, very regretful for many people. It might be making a decision, and not really thinking it through, snapping emotionally, energetically, whatever it is. And a lot of times we go, I didn't mean that, or whatever the case is. And it's going, that's because we never dealt with the issue. We never got to the root of it. We're storing energy, we're storing all this body fat, we're storing all these things, never actually addressing what needs to be addressed. And some people, there's certain things that they just aren't ready to hear for their own life and deal with, and that's fine. There's always a time and place for things. But a good starting point, in my humble opinion, is if you're going, hey, I want to lose some weight. We have to be able to look at ourselves and go, yeah, I knew where I was and I know where I am now. And if I don't necessarily want to be here in this place, it's going, hey, I'm okay not being in this physical look, shape that I'm in right now. I would like to make the change now, right? And it sounds a little bit silly, but it is a nice way to approach your body. Just like if you're trying to get your body to do something, or you're trying to, learn a new skill, beating yourself up about it. Do you think that's going to really get you to where you need to go? Or going, hey, we're trying here. We're doing our best. As long as we're trying, we're doing our best, we'll get there. We just need to be present. We need to focus. We need to be, have a sense of clarity under this stress. It's no different than us taking care of our body in the sense of going, I see where I'm at. I would like to make some change now. And more often than not, if we can stay present, we can stay calm, we can know, hey, my body's created this insulation for a reason to store some trauma, to store some energy that needs to be released. Great. Now I'm on that path. Now I'm on that journey. So when you're exercising and you're burning that energy, it's going to start to rise. It's going to come to the surface at times. It's going to grab your attention. And if there isn't a resolution in some of your stuff, if there isn't a sense of clarity, forgiveness, gratitude, appreciation, whatever it is, it will stay down. It will fester. For many of you, will stay until it's finally able to be addressed or it never does get addressed. So if you can find yourself looking at your body fat, where you're at, and hopefully realizing it is a protection mechanism, you're already in a very good starting point. Because now the relationship you're having with self is going to be a lot different. Rather than you terrible thing, it's going, you do it, you did your job. You're doing your job, body, to protect us for things that maybe we haven't been ready to deal with. Now we're ready. And again, it takes a lot of change in your perception of self. It's not easy. I'll make that very clear. But if you can't start to think that way, your body fat isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a very beautiful thing, and it's there to help you. And it helps animals, it helps people. Babies have a lot of body fat when they're starting off, their little chubby cheeks, all those things that everyone loves so much. It's there for a reason. And if we can understand what its purpose is for us at wherever we are in our journey, we can actually start to have a beautiful, healthy relationship with self to understand you're doing a fantastic job. Thanks. Thank you for everything you're doing, body. Storing this fat, storing all these things. Now, I'm not, again, not saying go off and eat whatever you want, whenever you want, all that jazz. Just want you to be able to not beat yourself up. Understand you're doing your best. And if you feel like you're not doing your best, what could you improve on? Your body's just trying to help you. It's doing what it can. Certain foods, if your body doesn't do well with it, it's gonna let you know, hey, stay away from that. We don't do well with that one. Cool. Sounds good. Hey, we really liked it when you did that. Hey, that was uncomfortable, but that overall felt pretty good. Do that one again. Or hey, we actually really like that meal. That was healthy for us and it's good. Hey, we know we like these sugary things. We're not going to beat ourselves up if once in a while we have it. You'll be okay. So I hope this helps. I hope I'm making sense. If not, you can always find me at newbiologyclinic.com, where we do a lot deeper webinars. We'll dive more into this specific topic and many others. If you have any questions, again, find me at newbiologyclinic.com. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And on that, see you soon. Bye, everyone.